Hello, Moira here. Welcome back. Hey, there's one thing that we have to, in this revolutionary movement, we have to be cautious on the space that we use because the matrix is real. Yeah, the matrix is real. I had an encounter with the squid, matrix squid, and it's interesting. As long as we operate in a certain frame of manner, because we have to know that we're in a space that is at times uh, intended for the matrix, if I might say. But there is one interesting thing also that came to light is you would find those who are engaged in unification of black people that are black, but you know they could be agents of the matrix. So, but it's easy for me. It's easy to spot them. I spot them and I see. You can see that, but when you see diaspora or anybody promoting uh, black people to do good for themselves so that they can be good to society, you can also see you see it that it doesn't matter whether it's Haiti, Africa, South Africa, Guinea, Australia, Brazil, Los Angeles, Chicago, anywhere we are. We usually tend to promote the whole spectrum of blackness, but the matrix seem to have a speciality of just uh, coming in and they're doing their good. They do their part, but they'll just focus on a tiny or focus on one element and just focus on that instead of talking about the broader issue as to a lot of people do. So those are the things we have to bear in mind when operating in such space. So, and I don't have to go hard on it. I'm just starting to get traction on this channel. So the last thing you want is to really go at the belly of the beast full on. But as a lot of you have watched, you fairly know. So hope you had a good Africa Day celebration, and it'll go down in history as the year that a lot of African diaspora, blacks, Black Americans, blacks around the world became really interested in getting in integrating with themselves. And I'm talking it starts at like I keep saying this. One thing may I add, I like the fact that a lot of people are throwing the word diaspora now. I started saying this, but now diaspora has become a buzzword. People are diaspora this, diaspora that. But remember, it's individual diasporans doing what they've been doing and continuing to do that and continuing. And if you've never been to vacation and you are somebody of, you know, uh, African ancestry, or whether you were born in Africa or whether you were born abroad, but you've never went on a vacation to, say, Africa, it'll be a good time for you to go. It doesn't matter which country. Like I said, this movement is promoting goodness and highlighting and giving economic power to our people and stuff like that. And this is not necessarily to come on the floor of like, oh yeah, I'm going to start bashing America. Rather, using the resource, knowledge, leadership, and the beacon that America has that we have to take individually and put out there. I mean, the system, the matrix has its own way. They seem to imply or let you know that you can't do that. It's only them that do it. But no, like anybody else, you got a right to do that. So for me, this is something like, it's not necessarily, though I see some people deem it, Babylon, this and that. But for me, I'm like, let's say I go to Chinatown in the States. There's Chinatown, there's Koreatown, there's all kinds of towns, but I don't see a lot of African towns or any of our communities. Like I remember one time I went to Chicago, and I was driving up north to Chicago, and I tuned in to a local radio station, and I was just tuning in the channels, and I was just surprised. I was like, "Wow, these guys are broadcasting in German. There's nothing wrong with that." Out in Southern California, you tune, you get Spanish channel, you get Vietnamese channel, so there's nothing wrong with that. But each of those groups embrace the American spirit, but also take that to their native or other countries. So whether it's the Irish Americans or Scottish Americans or French, whatever it is. But it seems, I don't know why, if you talk about black people doing something, people there seems to be uneasiness about that, which is totally wrong.
Country. My mandate is to see to it that Africa and the United States are the best partners the world has ever seen. America, the United States, and the Americas is the only region that has a heritage connection to Africa. And it is for that reason, in particular, that I'm on a mission to see to it that the marriage between Africa and the United States is the best marriage the world has.
You heard Her Excellency Dr. Arikona Kyombore said, diasporans in America have this responsibility for the continent, and that's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm trying to emphasize on my part. And it's like we in America have this duty to do that, to bring what she's saying and to connect. And I'm also saying individually, but also when I say individually, I mean like each person doing their part that they're doing. But as a group too, we would go forward a lot. So there's a lot of people now starting to form up, people coming up into groups, people, it's like any new thing happening. But this is a good thing. Like any new thing happening, at first it will seem like this is something that is there will be a lot of naysayers who would be like, oh, this is, they're just used to seeing the standard, usual way of how things are through the matrix eyes. But things are changing. People are waking up. People completely waking up. And please do take a look at her video in full. She has a lot to say, a lot of valuable info. And the good thing about it is it's going on an individual basis. People are taking responsibility. Those that have worked, hustled, have enough resources, they're going in, they're going to invest, they're going to do things, because like I said, Africa is a land of opportunity. I'm not saying most places there's no opportunity. Where you are, there are opportunity, but it's a filled space, sort of to say, and you still can operate on it. But what you can do in Africa, when you send your expertise, especially when the Black Americans go in with the resource, where they're a powerful group. They're like I think the last time I saw, they were like a $1.2 trillion group with the spending power, and they you know they they, they support a lot of companies. So when a few of them, even 1% or 0.5% of them, I think now I heard somebody said maybe they're like a 2 trillion company, not company, a 2 trillion group that is the Black Americans, and as time changes and a few of them become aware, like, hey, we need to go and travel to the motherland, go and do something. All those things trickle back there. So those are stuff that would stimulate different economies on those regions, depending on what country they go. You know, just bear in mind when you're going there, it's just like even being in the state. Like, yeah, if you go certain places, you go in a hood and you go, it's certain places are rough, certain places. So just take at it as it's just life. Don't get caught up on these nonsense that you hear in the news. Africa is this, Africa is that. So the main key point I want to make out is I want to point out here is one, there is a huge, which is a very plus point, people going whether vacation, whether thinking of doing businesses into Africa and doing that. And I believe the diasporans are the ones that will do a lot. There's all these organizations, all these big financial institutions they'll come in, go to the government with strings attached and do this and do that. Yeah, they're gonna do what they do. And that's the nature of the matrix. But individually, those are the people that will make a difference. And you get the matrix agents also. Don't be discouraged. They'll come in and you look at it and you'll be like, wow, you know what? This person is doing this and it's got that much publicity or whatever. No, don't be discouraged. Whatever you do on an individual basis, and if a lot of people do that, it actually moves. It moves change. It does shift things, and you'll be surprised. So that's what I want to impart, and I don't want it to seem like I'm going to be bashing those other countries, or any like where you reside. It should be like you as a citizen, as a resident there, you should also use your voice and influence to make a difference, an impact in Africa. We shouldn't just be sitting and watch all these other multinational corporations and all these people go in there and do things and dangle up money or whatever and demand that these governments or whatever comply to their things, whereas we are actually investors too. So the more we do this and the more the African governments, also different countries, make it an environment that is conducive enough for diasporans to go and invest, is whether it's somebody going with a container, ship a container with goods, make sure that you're not taxing them off to like that they cannot do that, because I've known people that have done that, who are starting to do those kind of businesses, and next thing you know, somebody at custom just raised up their taxes, which was beyond the actual container of goods. And they had to abandon. This is like 5-6 years ago, but still, even after now, those are the things that should be ironed up to make it conducive enough for diasporans to come in. We come in, or they might come in through tourism, but make it open up the avenue so it's not just tourism. They can engage in business, and it can start to create this micro growth of businesses, and within 1, 4, 5, 10 years plan, it'll be a different plateau. It'll really be a different Africa, because now the diasporans are engaging, and as I hear, a lot of the governments are also making noise like, hey, we need to make it easy for people to move. Yeah, because they need to. because, like I said, the diasporans last year they sent in, I think, 96.6 billion US dollars into Africa. That's all the Africans abroad working 2 jobs or whatever, sending here and there money to support school fees, eliminate poverty, or do something like that. So they're a strong investor group that should not be overlooked. That are doing already a lot in the continent, but now the the leaders should make it easier for them to do that, make it easier for them to do more of that, because if you look at the diaspora and all these global institution or all these global financial institution, diaspora is giving more money per year than all these countries and institutions combined that are out there. But those countries are taking out a lot from Africa. So these are points that are really crucial. These are points that are really, like I keep saying, I'm excited about it because I see that, and I see different individuals, different people going in and doing things, and sharing their experiences. And some people overstay or overdo what, or finish their money, and then they give the videos, oh, this Africa is bad, and they're going back, and blah, 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 blah. But it's all good. Because even the ones that go, they might end up 3-4 years, change what they're doing, work more, save up more, and then you never know. 5-6 years down the road, they might decide to try it again, and this time they'll be smarter. And the main thing is that's how life happens. That's how things, it does. It's not just like you just roll in there and voila, everything just happens like that. That's not the case. So anyway, just wanted to catch up and see you on the other side. Always refreshing.